forces a pretty long distance if you're going to try to save it. These Zerglings, setting them up against the Colossus, I don't know if that's even a good idea. You might even want to just separate the Zerglings out, because they're just getting sacrificed by running up there. He did manage to pick off a Colossus with the Hydras. It was a good push forward. Like, defensively, it's definitely okay to run up with your Hydras and pick off a Colossus like that. I mean, I know he lost some units, but look at this units lost tab. Like, those, it really gets up there in the units lost when you have things like your Zerglings. Well, you have control group 1, and you do the 1A attack. Those Zerglings, if you can recognize that they're going to be lost by moving up there, then you can just, kind of click them and get them the hell out of the way, so that, you don't just sacrifice them to these Colossi. But manages to hold off the attack. Quicklash is now getting saturated. The income tab, not quite evening out because of these high yield minerals. This is really, at this point, paid for itself. It's only 300 to get that hatchery up. Even if it gets destroyed at this point, it has paid for itself. So it ended up being a good move, and it does frequently take a long time for somebody to scout that out. So I guess, for a Zerg who can throw up a hatch for 300 minerals, it's a good investment. Looks like the creep has really been receded back, which for a Hydra army is a big detriment. Oh, look at the Colossi just burn through those Hydras, though. At this point, because they've got that range upgrade on the Colossi, looks like Eladimir is going to be in some real trouble here if he can't pull something out. A neural parasite, something like that, I don't know. At this point, the army size, well, it heavily favors, I mean, it was a huge loss by Eladimir there. The army size is probably only a little bit in Quicklash's favor before. Now it is extremely lopsided. He's going to be able to walk in here and attack that expansion. Eladimir is forced to use Hydras. I mean, you can't just sit there and watch them take out your expansion when you are, well, he's not quite mined out of his main. Maybe he could make a retreat with these drones and actually do that, like make a retreat back, let this go, mass up some more troops instead of sacrificing. That was about 10 Hydras he had done there that were just sacrificed because they were trying to stop it. Kind of a desperation move. Maybe the massing up of troops would have been a better idea, just to let the expansion go. He's still got the high yield there mining. I like getting roaches better than Hydras. They can at least take more of that Colossus damage. And this is getting pretty dicey for Eladimir. Take a look at the income tab. He is still way ahead in minerals. Not in gas mine, but in minerals mine he's way ahead. However, making Zerglings not really an option because of the Colossi. Zerglings aren't a really viable option. And the low amount of hatcheries he's got, a hatchery here, a hatchery here. Take a look at the units. He just popped out a queen in this hatchery, which is, what he needed to do. But the larva production, not good enough. He's starting to get really high in minerals. Just maybe if he had a huge amount of larvae, he could be spending those minerals on Zerglings, but he's kind of limited to what he can do because those larvae have to be spent on more roaches and more Hydras, the more robust units. If he had more hatcheries going, he does throw down another hatchery here. Um, he could be doing a little bit better off 4 hatcheries. It's too bad he lost that expansion. You know, there's nothing you can do about that. However, it is going to possibly be the end of him. It's a nice little push here. Looks like he could do some damage if Quicklash manages or is deciding to keep his army back in his main base. But well, okay, this entire push by Eladimir I completely missed, but now it's finally getting completely dealt with, and Eladimir's entire force here is destroyed. Now, what I missed during that entire attack by Eladimir, it turns out it was a counterattack. Let's take a look at Quicklash's troops here. He is going for the high yield expansion, and because Eladimir sees that this expansion is about to go down, you know, you're not missing too much here, but Eladimir says, okay, well, that's going down, I gotta send in my forces and try to do something with these guys. And Quicklash actually is managing to hold off all of this with 2 Colossi and 2 Stalkers. So yeah, he manages to polish that off. There's really nothing there Eladimir can do. For some reason there's 3 roaches kind of popped out, but yeah, Quicklash makes quick work of that. Eladimir does some damage, takes out that expansion, and you know, if it was all Quicklash had, then maybe Eladimir would have had a chance. But Quicklash is putting up another Nexus, comes back, and as you saw earlier, polishes off Eladimir's forces with his Colossi, and that is the end of the game. Eladimir GG's. He does have a force of roaches here. He does have a mining base, but just a huge army here. Like, the army advantage 46-25 to 12-25. There's just nothing Eladimir can do, and this game is very quickly over. And nothing short of some, I don't know, some kind of insane neural parasites might have got him back in this game. But Quicklash just had a really good build, good solid micro. He knew when to push in, when to back off, and he kept massing troops, and he kept doing some damage to Eladimir, backing out, coming back. Really good solid play by Quicklash. Eladimir never, I mean, he didn't get very effective Nidus Worm play, unfortunately. I mean, he did manage to make an attack on this expansion here with the Nidus Worm kind of, you know, popping out of this ledge here, but just didn't manage to do any damage with it. All the probes got run away, and Quicklash, he fought it off, and the Nexus didn't even go down when, you know, for the sake of 2 seconds, that Nexus could have gone down. Might have put a different face on this game. And thirdly, just the amount of minerals that were starting to get built up, maybe 1 or 2 more hatches, would have allowed Eladimir, and a couple more queens, would have allowed Eladimir to start to use some more of those larvae on Zerglings and drones, and maybe would have given himself a bit more of an edge. But really well played by Quicklash, and you know, when somebody plays that well, it's hard to fault anybody for losing that game. So anyway, thank you for listening, and that's all for me.